You know what they say, folks. Bands make her dance. Let's get to the bottom of that. I've got this tier list here. Ultimate rock bands, 60s to now. 200 plus bands, supposedly. I've looked through some of them. I'm gonna omit some one-hit wonders because that's just not fun. I'm gonna place them where they need to go, and then I'm also gonna share my favorite song from each band. So if it's a one-hit wonder, that kind of eliminates the purpose. So bands like Blur or Four Non Blondes, get the fuck out of here. You had your time, but that time is over. 10cc. Good. Just good. I only know 2 of their songs. But I'm gonna say my favorite is The Things We Do for Love. 1D. Great. I think my favorite One Direction song is either Night Changes or Story of My Life. I'm not really willing to pick between those 2, so you get both. 3 Doors Down. I'm gonna say good. You know what? No. They're much better than 10cc. I'm gonna drop 10cc down to decent. 3 Doors Down, I've also seen live. You know what? That'll be a fun game we play too. I'm gonna let you know every time I've seen a band live, because there's gonna be quite a few of them. I've seen a lot of concerts for my age. My favorite song of theirs is It's Not My Time. Third Eye Blind. Closing time. That's not Third Eye Blind. I'm pretty sure that's Third Eye Blind. No. So gather up your jackets. If you can tell me what movie that's from, I'll say something nice to you in the comments. I'm gonna say decent for them. I think my favorite song of theirs is Never Let You Go. It used to be Semi-Charmed Life, but I beat the fuck out of that song in high school. All right, we got alternate current, direct current, tippity top. Absolutely one of the greatest, genre defining, insane list of popular songs. I think my favorite is You Shook Me All Night Long. We'll go with that. And yes, I prefer Brian Johnson over Bon Scott. Aerosmith. I'm gonna say oh no. I think I have to say Amazing just for how classic Steven Tyler and Joe Perry are, but I'm not crazy about the stuff they were doing in the late 80s and 90s. I like their 70s sound a lot better. Hypocritical of me to say, but one of my favorite songs of theirs did come out in 88, which is Love in an Elevator. I think I'd pick my favorite to be Sweet Emotion though. That riff is classic, and the song is never unwelcome. Avenged Sevenfold. You know, I'm gonna be pretty conservative with my greatest of all time slot, so I'm gonna say Amazing for them. I do like their songs that they have enough to like put them in greatest of all time, but they didn't keep it up for quite long enough, and frankly I don't think they're like popular enough, but their musicianship is ridiculous. I think I'd say my favorite is Welcome to the Family. Afterlife is a close second, but the bridge of Welcome to the Family is better than the bridge of Afterlife. They Are Naked Ladies. I guess I'll say good. I'll drop them down to decent, actually. It's a basic choice, but I'm gonna say 1 Week is my favorite. Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken. The Beach Boys. I've seen them live, and I'm actually gonna put them in greatest of all time as well. They totally pioneered a whole type of sound. Their backing vocals are insane. Their music is way more complicated than you realize. Again, insane set list of hits. The Beatles. Oof, I should save this one for later, honestly, because No, fuck it. They're going in great. Before you get mad, face it, the Beatles are not for everyone. I wasn't raised in a Beatles household, so looking at them later in life, they just kind of come across to me like drug addicts who made some sounds. I like them better individually, and my order goes George, Paul, John, Ringo. George being number 1. I'm standing by this opinion. I'm allowed to have it. The Animals. You can't help it. The girl can't help it. I'm gonna put them in good. If they had more and longer lasting hits, they'd be a little higher, because House of the Rising Sun is potentially one of the greatest songs of all time. And that is obviously going to be my pick for my favorite song of theirs. Oh, I forgot to say for Beatles. I'd probably say A Day in the Life or Here Comes the Sun. Something like that. I don't really care. And for Beach Boys, I'd probably say Sloop John B. Blink 182. I'll put them in great. I do like punk rock, and they're probably like my 3rd or 4th favorite punk rock band. I'm just not super crazy about their vocals. But my favorite song of theirs is, What's My Age Again? Blondie. I'll say decent. Honestly, Blondie got like overhyped a few years ago. Remember that? Heart of Glass was like everywhere. I guess I would say that that's my favorite song of theirs. All of their songs that are popular, One Way or Another, and Call Me, and The Tide is High, they get old. Does anyone else feel that way? Like Blondie is one of them you gotta like really take in moderation. Blue Oyster Cult, great. I'm not willing to pick between Don't Fear the Reaper and Burning for You. They're equally good. Bon Jovi. I'll say good. He's got a style that's hard to swallow for me sometimes, but I'm gonna say Runaway. I think Runaway is my favorite song of his. Oh baby, one of my favorites. They're here. You're going straight to the top, baby. Let me just talk about Boston's debut album in 1976. I was clearly not alive for it, but that album does not have a skip, and even the radio stations think so. I've heard literally every single song on that album front to back. Their debut album play on the radio. Do you know how fucking crazy that is? Boston is one of the most underratedly greatest bands of all time. Bowie. Whoa. Bands make her dance, not solo artists make her dance. I guess I have to say great, because people are gonna castrate me if I don't. I'm not really a Bowie guy, but I don't hate him either. I just don't quite get the hype. My favorite song is Suffragette City. Oh, Boston, my favorite song is, it's called I Had a Good Time. There's a good chance you've never heard of it, but please look it up. It's not on streaming services, so you have to go to YouTube. I'm actually working on a song currently that is kind of based off of that song. That's how much it has inspired me. A Man I'll Never Be is a close runner-up. The Cars. I'll say great. You know, there is kind of a greatness in writing a bunch of hit pop songs that stay catchy for decades. My favorite is You Might Think. Ding, 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 dong. Creedence Clearwater Revival. Another great. I loved me some CCR in high school. I think I'm gonna go with Bad Moon Rising. Chicago, Chicago. I'll say good. Honestly, I just don't know, like, a whole lot of songs by them, but I love the ones I do know. Probably like 4 or 5 of them. My favorite is If You Leave Me Now. Buttery vocals. Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think I'm actually gonna say amazing for them. My listening history does not represent that, but they have such an energy. You can't manufacture that type of energy if you're trying to start a band. They are just a very bandly band. My favorite song is Danny, California. Insanely well mixed, full of energy. Snow was a close second. The Clash. We'll say decent. My favorite song of theirs is probably Death or Glory. If not, just Should I Stay or Should I Go? Coldplay. Coldplay. Oh no. Oh no. I'm gonna get in trouble. One of my dear friends is a massive Coldplay fan, and I'm so sorry. I'll say okay. I'll say okay. I'm not their biggest hater in the world, but I am also not a fan of most of their work, which is why my favorite song of theirs is Viva La Vida. I think that song is like the perfect song for people who aren't Coldplay fans, which is funny because this friend I'm talking about who is a Coldplay fan doesn't consider that one of their best songs. So that's like their song for the rest of the world, I guess. Adventure of a Lifetime is probably second for me. That's a really cool song, but its potential is kind of dampened by the poor mix that it has. Cream. I don't really have a huge opinion of Cream. I guess I'm gonna say okay, I guess. I don't know. I think they're a little overhyped. I liked Eric Clapton's solo work a little bit better, but White Room is probably my favorite song of theirs. Creed. Yeah.
Bo Body.
I'll say good, honestly. Why not? No, okay. I'll put them in decent. My favorite song is Higher. Deep Purple. Good. Highway Star. That's their best song. That's the only correct answer. Def Leppard. I've seen them live. It's been a minute since we've had one of those. I've seen Def Leppard live. You know what? I'm gonna say greatest of all time. I'm kind of using this as like the representation of a subgenre. Like if you're the best in your subgenre, you get to be in greatest of all time. I don't think anyone captured that giant, overproduced, yet still human stadium 80s rock sound. They nailed it, and they also have so many hit songs. My favorite of which being Hysteria. I'm always in the mood for that song. Dire Straits. If they had more hits, they would go in greatest of all time, but I'm gonna just say amazing. Mark Knopfler is one of the most influential guitarists of all time. Fucking fantastic songwriter, too. You know, I'm sorry. As a band, I'm gonna put them in great. Sorry to knock them down a peg. I honestly cannot think of my favorite song of theirs, though. Like, I like 4 of them about equally. Lady Rider, Walk of Life, Sultans of Swing, and Money for Nothing. Like, I honestly can't pick between those 4. I'll let you decide for me. Disturbed. I'll put them in good. They're fine. Lead singer's a super nice dude. Love him. Amazing vocalist. Their cover of Sound of Silence is just one of the greatest covers of anything ever. So that's my favorite recording of theirs, but my favorite song that's theirs is probably Stricken. The Doobie Brothers. They can get good as well. I like their stuff that they had with Tom Johnston better, so I'm gonna say Long Train Running. The Doors! Yo. We'll go amazing. Jim Morrison's a legend. Shout out to the 27 Club. I think I gotta say Riders on the Storm for my favorite. Is this Dragon Force? Wait, it's hard to tell. If this is Dragon Force, I'm gonna say great just for how kind of original and for how impressive they are. As musicians, I cannot even imagine being in a band like that. And I actually do know, like, 5 or 6 songs of theirs. Like, it's not just Through the Fire and Flames that I know, but I do like Through the Fire and Flames best still, so that's my favorite for them. Duran Duran. I'm also gonna say great. They can be a little bit annoying, but they know how to write some pop music. Save a Prayer is my favorite. The Eagles, I'll just say great. And I guess I'm just gonna say Hotel California. I also love the song In the City. It's a Joe Walsh song, even though the Eagles do have their own version of it. It's a Joe Walsh song. Oh, thank God. I was actually thinking about ELO earlier, and I was gonna be pissed if they weren't in this list, because they tend to kind of get overlooked a little bit in the music scene for some reason I can't comprehend. Absolutely greatest of all time. One of my biggest inspirations ever. I fucking worship Jeff Lynne. And I think my favorite song is Calling America. If you haven't heard that song, do yourself a favor and listen to it. Close second is probably Showdown, but again, they just have so many. There's so many great songs. Oh, we have our second solo artist. Whoop. Let's just put you up there, Elton. It's crazy how relevant Elton John has maintained his entire career. He has a song with Charlie Puth from like 2 years ago that I listen to all the time. I think I'm gonna say Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. The song moves me. But I also really love the song, it's called Healing Hands. Listen to that, because you probably haven't heard that one as well. Evanescence. I've seen them live. Oh, by the way, I have tickets to see ELO next month, so I've basically seen them live. Let's say good for Evanescence. And my favorite song is My Immortal, specifically the band version. There's a version of the song that I think is like not the main one, and the band actually comes in full force on the last chorus, and it's absolutely epic. Fall Out Boy, decent, I guess. I am not a Fallout guy, boy. I'm not a Fallout boy. I'm not, whoa. I am not a Fallout boy. I find their sound really annoying, if I'm being honest. And they remind me a lot of Panic at the Disco. Like, I think of them almost identically. I guess I'd say my favorite song is Sugar We're Going Down, or Centuries. One of those two. Fleetwood Mac. Amazing. I do have kind of a controversial opinion with Fleetwood Mac, though. I think I like the Christine songs more than the Stevie songs. I think Stevie, it kind of needs to be a solo artist. I think Christine suits Fleetwood Mac better than Stevie does, or at least she did. And I imagine Lindsay feels the same way. I believe Everywhere is my favorite song. Even vastly inferior covers of that song sound amazing. Foo Fighters. You know, I'm gonna say good, I guess. I don't really care about the Foo Fighters, honestly. I don't think they're sticky enough. By far, my favorite song is Learn to Fly. I know I'm gonna get shit for that because they have some, like, diehard fans. But, you know, again, you have to understand. If you're a diehard fan of something, it's not gonna be for everybody. And you can't assume that everyone else feels the same way, or should feel the same way you do. I just think most of their songs are kind of corny and lack a stickiness. Foreigner. I've seen Foreigner live. Unfortunately not with Lou Gramm. I saw him with Kelly, the guy that's been singing with them for like 20-something years. I'm gonna put them in great. My favorite song is Urgent. Close second is That Was Yesterday. Fun. Good. They only really have 3 popular songs. I wish they would have done more because I love those 3 songs. But Nate Ruess did a song with Pink and then a song with Eminem and then fucked off. But I'm gonna go with Some Nights. The song is incredible. Genesis. Great. I like Genesis more than Phil Collins' solo. My favorite song is probably No Son of Mine. Ghost recently I say recently, it was like a year ago, has a cover of a Genesis song called Jesus He Knows Me, and it's so good. Ooh, I'm glad I get to put this band in their place. Grand Funk Railroad. The absolute fucking worst. Some Kind of Wonderful is one of my least favorite songs on the face of this earth. Moving on. Green Day. You know how I was talking about greatest of all time being reserved for people that are the best in their subgenre? That is 100% Green Day. I have tickets to see them this month, actually. So, again, I've basically seen them, kind of. If the sacred timeline is upheld properly, then I have seen ELO and Green Day. And my favorite song is, Jesus of Suburbia. I think that's just their magnum opus. Greta Van Fleet. I'm gonna put them in great. Listen, I'm proud to be a Gen Z for the most part. I really am. We're the first generation that on a widespread level cares about people having rights. But I hate what they did with Greta Van Fleet. I was so excited when I found out about them. And then the wrong group of TikTok users got a hold of them. And it's like, it feels like you're not allowed to like them anymore. I think my favorite song is Heat Above. Guns N' Roses. Oh man, I don't know. I'm struggling with this one. I think I'm just gonna put them in great. I think they would be amazing if they had a different singer, unfortunately. But my favorite song is Sweet Child of Mine. It's kind of one of my favorite songs ever. Daryl Hall and John Oates, I've seen them live. Great. They weren't great when I saw them. Daryl Hall has been phoning it in for 20 years. My favorite song is probably Out of Touch. And if it's not that, then it's Did It in a Minute. Heart. I've seen them live. We got 2 in a row. I'm gonna also say great. We've got a lot of greats. This is like the safest category. My favorite song of theirs is Crazy on You. Huey Lewis and the News. You know what? He's going to amazing. I don't care what you say. I love Huey Lewis so much. They have like 10 songs that just smack anywhere, anytime. And I actually don't know which one's my favorite. They're all kind of equally good. I Know What I Like is up there. Walking on a Thin Line is up there. Of course, Power of Love is up there. I'll just make it easy and say Power of Love. Okay, I'm gonna start trying to go a little faster here. I'm gonna talk less and explain my opinions less. We're just gonna go placement and song. Jimi Hendrix. Sorry to Bob Dylan, All Along the Watchtower. And he's going in amazing. Nope, he's going in great. Sorry. Jimi Hendrix, great. All Along the Watchtower. Imagine Dragons, bad. I guess if I had to pick a favorite, it's Demons. Insane Clown Posse. Somewhat tolerable. The Homies? Juggalo Homies, so that song is called. Iron Maiden, good. I respect what they do, just not that much for me anymore. My favorite song is The Evil That Men Do. Jefferson Airplane. It doesn't say Jefferson Starship or Starship, so I have to assume that it just means Jefferson Airplane specific songs. So obviously that's White Rabbit, and they get the good spot. If I could just lump all 3 of them together, all 3 of their names together, I'm gonna put them in great. I've seen Starship live, so I don't know if that counts. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, great. I've seen her live 3 times. She's just always opening for the person that I buy tickets for. I'm gonna say I Hate Myself for Loving You. Journey, amazing. I wanna say Stone in Love. Judas Priest. I've seen them live, and it was actually the most recent show that I've seen. If we're talking about how I feel about them live, I'd say great or amazing. If we're talking about how I feel about them in their catalog on record, I'm gonna say good. My favorite song is probably Electric Eye. That riff is insane. Kansas, good. Carry On Wayward Son. The Killers, somewhat tolerable. When You Were Young. Kiss. I've seen them live. Amazing. With their whole package, I'm gonna say amazing. And probably Detroit Rock City. Led Zeppelin, obviously greatest of all time. You know, the way people feel about the Beatles and what they did for rock and roll, I feel like is more applicable to Led Zeppelin. Again, with them, I can't really pick. There's too many. It's either Over the Hills and Far Away or Fool in the Rain. Linkin Park, great. I'd either say What I've Done or Breaking the Habit. Marilyn Manson, fuck you. Absolute worst. Aha, here comes my bias. Get ready for my protruding bias. Matchbox 20, greatest of all time. This one is just for me. I'm not even gonna try to defend it if you disagree. Like, I get it. They're not anything flashy. I'm just too attached to them and always have been to not put them there. I mean, I do believe that they're the best in their subgenre, the 90s, early 2000s alternative rock. And I think Rob Thomas is an extremely underrated musician and songwriter. I mean, he literally wrote the biggest song of 1999, and no one talks about him. Like, even if you don't know who Rob Thomas is, you know who Rob Thomas is. It's like Ryan Tedder. It's the same fucking thing with Ryan Tedder. I don't know what my favorite song of theirs is, either. Maybe Long Day, maybe Unwell, maybe Back to Good, who knows. By the way, I've seen them live twice. Maroon 5, good. No. I'm looking at them compared to these other groups. They're definitely great. I think Harder to Breathe is my favorite song. Meatloaf, another solo artist, good. Paradise by the Dashboard Light. Metallica, greatest of all time. If you try to argue that, you are stupid. Also very difficult for me to pick a favorite song of theirs because I have listened to every one of their albums all the way through. I'm gonna say No Leaf Clover, actually, from the S&M album. I've seen Metallica twice as well. My Chemical Romance. So me personally, in my own listening habits, I kind of want to say good because I don't really listen to them a whole lot. I know how people feel about them though, so I guess I'll bump them up to great. I have no problem with that. Welcome to the Black Parade is probably my favorite song though. I'm basic when it comes to them. Or Dead. I like Dead pretty much just as well. Motley Crue, going in great. I've also seen them live. And I'm gonna go with Shout at the Devil. Fucking Nickelback. You know what? I don't even care what you say. I'm putting Nickelback in amazing. I'm with Deadpool on this one. They get entirely too much hate.
I've had it with all this Nickelback hating, right? You think that makes you cool with the cool kids in school?
Obviously, that's a conversation that's been had in the past several years. Like, people kind of came to their senses, like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have been dogging on them as much as we have been. I do think they can attract kind of a trashiness in just some of their songs and some of the things they talk about, and their shows have questionable crowds, I think. But they've got some amazingly produced, really, like, touching music. And if you don't get that type of value from them, I totally get it. Chad Kroeger has one of those voices where obviously it's going to be polarizing. He has a very potent voice, but I personally love it. I think he's a fantastic singer. My favorite song of theirs is If Today Was Your Last Day, or Gotta Be Somebody, or Burn It to the Ground, or Photograph. I like Nickelback. I like Nickelback a lot, and I have no problem saying that on the internet. I like Nickelback way more than I like the Beatles. Nirvana. I feel like I have to put Nirvana in Greatest of All Time as well. They made grunge a thing. Kurt Cobain made grunge a thing and captured the essence of what grunge really means. A lot of the grunge bands that came after them were just shallow imitations of grunge. Kurt Cobain and what he stood for and the way he went about writing music is such an inspiration. Again, shout out to the 27 Club. Either Heart-Shaped Box or In Bloom. I can't really pick between those two. Oasis. Great. If they had more songs that I knew of that were like the 4 songs that I know, they would definitely be higher. But they don't have a whole lot of hits. Definitely gonna say Champagne Supernova. That's one of my favorite songs ever. One Republic. Speaking of Ryan Tedder. Great. Solid songs. My favorite being Good Life.
You got a good life.
All right. I gotta go faster. Pantera. Great. I think my favorite song is Piss or Domination or just Cowboys from Hell. Any of those. Pearl Jam. They're also going in great. Even Flow or Jeremy. Pink Floyd. Greatest of all time. Hey, we finally have 2 rows. Big Pink Floyd guy here. My favorite song of theirs is a little subversive though. I think I'd say Learning to Fly, which is a song without Roger. Don't get me wrong, I think the quality of the band's overall work was slightly hindered after Roger left. But Momentary Lapse of Reason has some great songs. And being a guitar player, I kind of gravitate towards David Gilmour anyway. Paramore. I'll say good. I don't have a problem with them. They're just kind of missing something. I think I'd say Crush, Crush, Crush is my favorite. The Police. I guess they can go in great. I don't really like Sting very much. I find his voice annoying. Either Message in a Bottle or Synchronicity to Queen. Greatest of all time. My favorite song is I Want It to All, but specifically the version that opens with instrumental instead of the gang vocals and has the full extended solo. For some reason, the main version that's played neuters the song a little bit. It's weird. The first half of the solo is usually cut out, and it's missing the cool guitar work at the beginning. I don't understand it. Ramones. If the Police get great, then Ramones do as well. Bonzo Goes to Bitburg is my favorite song. Rage Against the Machine. Amazing. Amazing. I think I'd probably just say Bulls on Parade. Amazing song. R.E.M. Great. And I respect them because they dipped out when they knew they had only decline left. They disbanded, not out of any problem whatsoever, but just the fact that they knew it was a good time to do so. I'd probably say What's the Frequency, Kenneth is my favorite song. R.E.O. Speedwagon. You know, if I did Nickelback in this category, I feel like I have to also put REO in amazing. Their songs just make you feel so good. Take It on the Run is my pick. Oh, I've seen them live too. Rush. Greatest of all time. Absolutely. No hesitation. Limelight. Luckily, I got to see Rush before death occurred. Scorpions. Amazing. Very signature sound. You know when you're hearing Scorpions. I'm gonna go with Still Loving You. Leonard Skinner. Great. I suppose. Freebird, why not? I do know quite a few of their other songs, but Freebird is a really good one. Slipknot. I've seen them live. I think good. I'm sorry if you like Slipknot a lot. I enjoyed the show, and I think it's fun no matter what to go to a metal show. I think hard rock is just like the best type of live show to go to. But their songs kind of lack in songness. And Corey Taylor is a little bit obnoxious. Either Psychosocial or Before I Forget. Smash Mouth, good. Walking on the Sun. Smashing Pumpkins, also good. Shara Brock. Black Sabbath, also good. War Pigs. Steve Miller. Great. Abracadabra. The source of Eminem's most recent interpolation. My favorite's probably Jet Airliner. Rolling Stones, get on up there. I'd probably say Gimme Shelter. Styx. I've seen them live. I'm gonna put them right with who I saw them live with. It was kind of a co-headliner situation with REO. They are better live than on record. I'm just gonna throw that out there. My favorite is probably Blue Collar Man. Sweet. Good. Fox on the Run. System of a Down. I'm gonna say great. They've got their own thing going on. I'm not like the craziest big fan of them, but I do like them quite a bit. I'm gonna go with Toxicity. Tame Impala. Interesting. Another solo artist. Good. The Boat I Row. You might not have heard that song. It's not super popular, but you should listen to it. Tenacious D. Honestly, I'm gonna say amazing. Wonder Boy. Tool! Also amazing. The Pot. U2. I don't have the heart to put them in the absolute worst, but they're getting bad for sure. I don't like U2. I really don't. I guess I'd say Sunday, Bloody Sunday. 21 Pilots. I'd say good. Sure. They've got a cult following, so I respect that they've been able to keep that. Call me basic, but I think my favorite song of theirs is Stressed Out. Toto. Great. Rosanna. Train. I've seen Train live. They opened for Hall & Oates when I saw them, and they were a little bit better than Hall & Oates, but I don't like them as much as Hall & Oates in general. I'm gonna say decent, honestly. I guess Drops of Jupiter, but fuck, I'm tired of that song. Muse. I'll give them credit where credit's due. I'll put them in good. I don't really like their style. It's a little too dramatic for me in a way that just doesn't resonate with me, but I'd say Knights of Sidonia is my favorite. Finally, Van Halen. Get on up there. You know what? We're gonna move them all the way up here. If I started talking about Van Halen, I wouldn't be able to stop, so I'm gonna just try my best to think of my favorite song. Ain't Talking About Love. Why not? Bad Company. I'm gonna say great. Silver, Blue, and Gold. Supertramp. Also great. Goodbye Stranger. Sum 41, my second favorite punk band. I'm gonna put them in amazing. And I guess my favorite song is Still Waiting. Cheap Trick. Also amazing. I used to be such a massive Cheap Trick fan. They've got garage band energy, but they can sell out arenas. I've seen Cheap Trick live twice now, I think. Voices is my favorite song. ZZ Top. I'll say great. Why not? I've seen them live at the same show as Three Doors Down. Honestly, it's basic again, but I think Sharp Dressed Man might be my favorite. The Cranberries. Terribly sad early death. I'm gonna say great. I wish they had more hits, but I'm gonna say Dreams. Poison. Good. This finally rounds out the show that I saw, fuck, who was it? There's so many. It was Poison, Joan Jett, Motley Crue, and Def Leppard. Got all 4 of these on the board now. You know, I like, Fallen Angel, Talk Dirty to Me, Unskinny Bop, and Nothing But a Good Time about equally. So just any of those 4. But I think I recently saw that Bret Michaels supports Trump, so I do not fuck with that guy. Daft Punk. We're gonna go greatest of all time, baby. Harder, better, faster, stronger. It's not even a hard choice for me. That song is so engaging. Every 8 bars is different, and yet the whole thing is kind of easy to memorize. Like, it's just a wildly good song. Like, it's, to me, one of the best electronically produced songs that there is. Weezer! Good, great, good, great. What do you guys want? Should I say great? They're kind of weird in a good way. Like, no one else is like them. I can respect that. We'll give them great, I guess. I'm gonna go with Say It Ain't So. All right, this is the last one. I picked out all of the ones that were relevant to me and my opinions. The Who. I'm gonna say, for their time, amazing. They started the whole trend of smashing your instruments on stage, which I appreciate. I think my favorite song of theirs is Baba O'Reilly, or The Seeker, or Pinball Wizard. Nah, Elton John's is better. All right, whew. That was a lot. If you have any opinions over any of these bands that I just categorized, or any of the songs that I mentioned, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Or if you just want to say something nice to me, I'm perfectly fine with that. Here, I'll say something nice to you. Wow, your hair is falling in such a way. Your shirt is definitely obeying the laws of physics. You look like you drink a lot of coffee. You look like you drink a lot of milk, specifically almond milk. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.